But apparently the reason he gave for why he didn't like me is he claimed that I dead-named Blair White.
Nope. I never said that. You can go back and roll the clips. What I said is that you looked up Blair White's dead name while streaming off screen. That's what I said. That was my accusation. Yes.
And that just didn't happen. So like I guess a made-up thing that he heard on Twitter about me that he believed, I suppose. But yeah.
Okay, so made up thing that I heard on Twitter that I believed. All right, well, here's me learning about it on Twitter from you, Xanderhal. The thing I was responding to kept referring to Blair by a masculine name that wasn't hers, so I was like, are they dead naming Blair White? And I looked it up off screen to find out what was occurring. I had seen Xanderhal put out a video called Why I Don't Like the Serfs, and I watched it because I was curious why Xanderhal doesn't like the Serfs. I'm going to play some of it for you now, after I play this next clip, because I wasn't originally going to make a video about this. I had just watched it in my own time. I watched a lot of the critiques of my debate, both from people who were obviously not coming from good faith and people who were coming from good faith, to try and improve, find things I did wrong, jot down notes, stuff like that. And it also was like a debate that I was pretty happy with my performance of, especially when the stakes were so high with fucking the Tim Pool event, that yeah, I wanted to see what other perspectives were saying, all that kind of stuff. Now, his video on me spends almost half the video complaining about who I associate with, which was kind of jarring to see, especially coming from, well, let's just say there's a lot of different corners of the internet that have DM'd me for one reason or another at different points or at different times. Why are you friends with X person? Why are you friends with Y person? Why do you associate with Y person? Why do you associate with X person? And what's wild about all this is that sometimes it's people talking about each other and they don't even know it. Sometimes it can be people in one direction saying like, hey, why do you associate with X? And meanwhile, I've got a message from Y saying, hey, by the way, what's up with X? X is hanging out with you, and then X says the same thing about Y later, and then yeah, all that kind of stuff. Resentic, thank you very much for the tier 1. Anyways, I wasn't going to make a video about it just because I didn't want to, you know, create yet another drama cycle. He makes a video about me, I make a video about him. It goes back and forth. But someone ended up sending me this clip, which is including a list of things that I think are completely falsifiable, and so I want to address them and just provide receipts.
They're friends with Bad Bunny? Yeah, they're friends with Bad Bunny as well. She ended up paying someone to stalk the clique and, like, find every instance of him saying, like, slurs in his entire online presence, found a few instances of him saying the R slur, and then tried to use that to cancel him. And then she'd also made an alt account where she would, like, hate comment on his posts, pretending to be someone else to try to sway public opinion to hate him. Like, there's way more than that, but it was fucked.
This is not about me right now.
This is defended her.
There we go. We got Illuminati. There it is.
And, you know, I thought that was pretty cringe, you know? And he doubled down on that defense in his response to my video that I made about all that. So I think it's worth continuing on with this drama, because the fact that literally people in, like, the left tube industrial complex are defending this woman is pretty fucking disgusting. Is Lance still defending her? Yeah. Yeah, Lance and Illuminati are friends, and he made a whole video defending her. It was called Illuminati Responds, and her receipts are insane. He made a response to you? He made a tweet, apparently.
I did. I've just made a tweet. That's as far as we took this.
Where he just kind of obfuscates and shrugs off. And essentially, like, he doesn't acknowledge the Illuminati thing either that I criticized him for, but I think it's fair to say that he's essentially doubled down. They're friends.
That's a lot of assumptions going down there. And now the next part was the part that really set me off, was the Bad Bunny thing.
Friends with Bad Bunny? Yeah, they're friends with Bad Bunny as well.
All right. As soon as I saw that, I was like, what the fuck? Because it's one thing to, you know, say the accusations about the Illuminati, first and foremost. I have taken down that Illuminati video, not because of the Xanderhal stuff, because at this time, there is a lot of drama that is going in two directions right now between Illuminati, people she used to work with, and a lot of other streamers all around it. And I was not a part of any of that drama in the first place. I initially played Illuminati's video because when I initially accused Illuminati of saying, hey, by the way, people are saying that you didn't pay your editors. Is that true? She responded with, no, I was the one who paid the editors. editors. I tracked them down. Here's receipts. Here they are. And then I was like, okay, all right, I'll wait for you to release your statement then. It's not my statement to make. This is not what I'm going to do. When she made her statement, yes, I defended her through that video. And then the other videos came out. There was another one by Click, and then another one came out by, I don't know if Oz has made one, but Wonder made one as well. And then now, once again, I'm in that position where it's like, everyone is turning to me saying, hey, Lance, what's going on with Illuminati? Is Illuminati part of the leftist mafia? What are you doing with Illuminati? Blah, blah, blah. Illuminati taking steps back or taking time off from the leftist mafia is not my decision. There is no, we're not having meetings behind the scenes. She's doing things of her own free will, as everyone in the leftist mafia does, for example. And once again, it's that awkward position where, okay, well, now there's going to be obviously another response of some kind. I'm assuming, or some other form, it's going to continue. And I'm not going to be positioning myself in such a way where I'm like, I have to wait for Blair to make a statement and release it to counter the other statement that's been released, and then the next statement will come out and be released in turn. In terms of Bad Bunny and me being friends with Bad Bunny, I have no idea where the fuck that comes from. That's wild to me, though. So I wanted to get you some history on this. First off, Bad Bunny has blocked me on Twitter for a very long ass time. Bad Bunny got really mad at me on Twitter when I unfollowed her, and that was enough for her to fucking go on this kind of like, Lance is supporting fucking, you know, all these right wingers and fucking the neo-Nazis and stuff like that. So a little bit of the background to this, by the way. Let's open up this one. So Kira Chats, formerly of Bad Bunny, has a long and sordid history online. If you didn't know, she's one of those figures who used to be a very hardcore racist, a very hardcore transphobe, and that was part of her personality. I'm going to play you some of the worst things that she said, and then she did a complete pivot and turn to, I'm now going to be a leftist and talk about leftist shit. Obviously, I was involved with Bad Bunny and Mike when all of us were friendsies during my like first year or so of being on this platform. So yes, I interacted with Bad Bunny. We had done streams together. She had joined streams that I had done. I'd done videos defending people who had attacked her, stuff like that. And then more and more, I started seeing this pattern where people would say this thing that, hey, did you know that Bad Bunny has done all this super fucked up racist stuff? And Bad Bunny not doing what you're supposed to do, which is acknowledge it. Don't lie that it never happened. Don't say that these aren't real. Don't say that the video clips are like taken out of context. You said and did exceptionally and extremely racist and fucked up stuff. And as more and more of that came out, and she kept on downplaying it or just doubling down and being like, oh, well, some of those are faked or stuff like that. Yeah, it was becoming more and more yikesy to me. This is also a time when, yes, I've always been open about being, you know, bi, pan, what have you on the show. But there's also, like, because I am so, what's the best way to put it? Queer coded or whatever it is. Because I'm not like what people expect when they talk to someone for the first time. Like, oh, wait, what? I didn't know that about you, Lance. That obviously has a role and plays a different role in the way that I interact with people online and that kind of stuff. And this was before I unfollowed her, but there's two big reasons. And one of this was just getting, I don't have a Wayback Machine, so I can't see the other accounts, but this is when she was going at, when queer people need me to listen, it alienates me, quote, an ally. Wah. Not familiar with the context of this thread, but anyone concerned with alienating allies is, whether they intend to or not, perpetrating reactionary attitudes. The context is that there's this LGBTQI plus tag on Twitter that was intended to be used by queer streamers, but then a bunch of, quote, allies started using it instead, basically rendering it useless. Queerphobia is rampant on the platform. Duh, and yesterday. So again, this is someone who, I don't know if this has changed, but at the time does not identify as being part of the LGBTQ plus, but she considers herself an ally, sure. You know, trying to have conversations that are pretty yikesy. Someone responded with, Lance identifies as bi and pan, although he acknowledges that he is straight, passing, and cis, so that is probably why he doesn't use it regularly. A bunch of people, so how is a single person, quote, straight passing, and why would it even matter for labeling your sexual orientation? Like, you shouldn't police what queer people do in terms of how they want to label or present themselves. I never, in my first couple of years of streaming, made a really big deal about, you know, I'm Lance, I happen to be queer. I wouldn't open sentences with that or that kind of stuff. It was just not something that I would hide. I'm a lot more open or upfront about it now because it's coming at a time right now when, like, things are really, really bad against the queer community. Things are really, really bad towards trans people. There's so many draconian laws being passed. There's so much vilification of all LGBTQ plus people as pedophiles and groomers and stuff. So yes, I'm using my platform and all the privileges afforded to me to be much more vocal about it and much more like out and proud so that it can help other people, if it does in any way, feel safe. That's one of the big reasons why. Sure, but then how do you justify a singular bi, pan, man not using the LGBTQIA tag? That's my confusion. Obviously, queer people can choose to use the tag if they want, but I'm just really confused by this particular reasoning. I mean, here, Lance isn't an ally to queer people if he's bi, pan, he's queer himself, but I shouldn't keep insisting that you speak for someone else. Regardless, I really appreciate you explaining it to me. I'm learning new things. Around this time, Dylan Burns asked me to do a charity stream with him. And I agreed. And the charity I chose, because he said he wanted to help LGBTQ plus people who may be suffering from depression, anxiety, suicidal ideation, I chose the Trevor Project. I had announced that I was doing that. Then Dylan Burns got embroiled in his own controversy, responding to, I believe, a post a post that Kira had made with a meme of Destiny, which then got a whole bunch of people upset in both directions. And then, of course, as is happening right now with the 6 degrees of cancellation, Bad Bunny, started getting mad and posting shit about both Dylan and my association with Dylan. So I unfollowed her. This was around back when it happened. This was July 7th. So because it seems like I can't participate in charity events anymore without being embroiled in drama, allow me to unpack this. Dylan asked if he could help with this nearly a month ago, well before drama occurred between him and Bad Bunny. So Bad Bunny ended up making a statement. And this, again, is fucking years ago. This is 2021. This is like we have barely spoken since. Fewer things are more insulting for men on the left than a femme person criticizing their grift. The topper is, I didn't even target the serfs. I targeted criticism of platforming and befriending abusive people at Dylan. When I say I don't trust men on the left, think of this. And he wanted to raise money for a cause related to mental health for LGBTQIA plus youth, and he's a good kid who went through one of the worst experiences a human can go through, so I was honored at the request to pick up the Trevor Project, who do great things, by the way. I honestly don't know half of the ancillary stuff Nicole is referencing, but I don't think unfollowing her warrants being called a grifter. A lot of our content is platforming femme voices and their opinions, and please, all means, call us out. We're fuck-ups like everyone else. For the record, their ongoing trauma has absolutely nothing to do with us. Agreeing to help Dylan with this charity event, we're not backing out of the event, even if people want to paint it that way. I'm also not suggesting Nicole is framed in that way either. These are separate. And so all of this happened back then. We've barely spoken since. She got eventually fully called out. And I, to this day, don't think that she's ever answered for the fucking super yikesy stuff.
I couldn't do it. There might be exceptions, obviously. When I say I wouldn't be attracted or I'm not attracted, obviously, if it's like, obviously there could be exceptions, all you super literal nerds out there, but like, I don't like, if a guy's like having sex with other guys and then he's like, oh, maybe I'll try having sex with you, I'm like, racist and sexist, please don't say that. Even black people, if you found me a black bisexual man, I might throw up in my mouth at the thought of sexual contact with him. Not every black bisexual I throw up in my mouth at the sight of, just like, we're talking sexually. You can't hate gay people anymore. Why not? I want to hate whoever the fuck I want to hate. I want to hate a person because they're wearing Crocs. Why can't I hate a person because of whatever else trivial? If that reason is trivial, if I can hate a person for wearing Crocs, that's an incredibly trivial reason, and then people can harp on me about how stupid it is for me to hate an entire person.
What's the timeline of this? This is years ago, and this was before Bad Bunny had done this turn to the left. She said the exact same things in a conversation with Destiny as well, and also just had a Discord that was fucking littered with N-words, F-slurs, T-slurs, all the worst fucking shit. Now, if you want to do a complete rebranding, which that's part of why Bad Bunny is now calls herself Kira Chats, for example, and start doing work with a whole bunch of other leftists and stuff, yeah, not being an extreme racist and fucking anti-queer person is a good thing. So I would welcome that. But also don't like lie when people post like old Discord, things that you had said, saying that wasn't you or that those things are made up or anything like that. If you were going to go down that road, because this is a similar road that Xanderhal himself went down, by the way. Xanderhal used to be a content producer known as Pig Puncher, who has made videos about how he used to be in the alt-right, and then, through watching Destiny debates, started moving closer away from being an alt-right, racist, and that's been part of his journey. And so the same thing could be said about Bad Bunny in terms of like, that would be a good thing if Bad Bunny did want to confront all of her old bigotry, all of her old past, all of this horrifying shit, and get ahead of it, and then straight up be like, so here's how I'm now going to kind of restore some of the fucked up damage that I'd done with the platform for years, for a very long time, rather than deny when people say, hey, these are the fucked up things that you said or did, here it is. But all that being said, it was 2021 when I stopped associating in any way with Bad Bunny, and I've been very critical of her since. I haven't been critical of the things that she does with other people in terms of, hey, we're going to fundraise money for a trans charity. Very good, very good. Hey, we're going to fundraise money to protect tenants who are getting evicted from their landlords with the rest of her like cast and crew. Very good, very good. But saying that I'm friends with Bad Bunny is absolutely absurd. Not to mention, it's this whole thing where I think because she does a show with Sophie from Mars, that Xanderhal has also assumed that me and Sophie from Mars are like very, very close friends. I've never had any disagreements with Sophie from Mars. I play her videos on the streams, but like we don't associate with each other. It's also weird to try and associate me directly with that cast and crew. And for the other member of the crew, what's his face, DJ Miguel, I, amongst with most other people, called out that weird as fuck video that he did. I was not sitting here being like, whoa, you know, DJ Miguel really fucking handed it to Xanderhal, really fucking destroyed him or all this stuff. I found the whole thing to be very poorly researched, ridiculous, and honestly offensive. Just offensive for you to make all these weird statements about Xanderhal and his sex life with his ex and shit like that. Like, what are you doing? Yeah, abuse apologia. No support for him or what he did on my behalf whatsoever, in any way, shape, or form. So anyways, that's the stuff on Bad Bunny.
About, like, his live viewing of this debate, and I'm going to read it to you guys and show you the clips that he took out and showed. I don't know if this is relevant to your point, but Vaush said Lance did really well. Xan, personally, I didn't feel that way at all. I will say that Vaush seems to have a soft spot for Lance that's probably not going to last very long after...
Oh, after what? After what? This one I can't blame on Xanderhal. This was YouTube.
This is a little bit more of a segment that was spurred by questions from the chat. But I've been able to basically accumulate some screenshots and some sources to what I have to say about this to help back up my reasoning here and give you guys a little bit of explanation to this, I suppose. So, for the last few days, I've noticed a lot of you guys in chat have been mentioning Lance from the Serfs. Some of you guys mention Lance positively, most of you guys mention Lance negatively if you're in my community, and when my fans were, like, you know, speak very negatively about Lance from the Serfs, people who like him in my chat typically get, like, really defensive and confused. They don't know why we don't like him here.
Thank you, Entitled
and are confused as to why I dislike him. So, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of backstory to this, and why I dislike Lance from the Serfs, okay? A little bit of a drama segment. I don't know how long this is going to be, but, you know, it is also going to...
Basically, to people who were in the chat earlier being like, Lance, blah, 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 you and Xanderhal will have to cut this. Why are you doing this? So this was the first video that he made. I guess yes, my status or profile got raised a lot higher post Tim Pool. A lot of the clips went really viral. A lot of people were extremely happy with the Tim Pool debate and the performance. And yes, it did make you know, talking about me, like I remember someone saying, like, between that and the Daily Beast article, there's a lot of like Lance on the internet right now. So fair enough, that would make sense why his chat starts to talk about that.
Tie into some recent events that occurred.
I can't believe he named up Vaush. Well, I mean, here's the thing. When it comes to that statement he made where he's like, Vaush has a soft spot for Lance, and then he's like, oh, he's not going to have that soft spot for Lance. Hey, you know what everyone says about Vaush? That he's got a soft spot for Xanderhal. I have never once done this thing where I'm like, well, Vaush associates with Xanderhal, which means no one should associate with Xanderhal. No, what is happening? Or the same thing with fucking, hey, you know who I'm friends with? Demon Mama, Conyer, a whole bunch of people who are very, very, very good friends with Xanderhal. I've never DM'd them and told them, you should not be friends with Xanderhal anymore, or I've made videos where I'm like, they are friends with Xanderhal, we must cancel them all. Yeah, it's the guilt by association bullshit that, honestly, it's surprising he's doing this to me, because I feel like this is the kind of shit that he calls sculpting. You know, like, oh, we're not pure enough, we're not in the right friend groups for you.
Anyway, so for those of you guys that don't know, for starters, like, I guess I should give you guys a little bit of background. If you aren't familiar with Thought Slime and Sophie from Mars, then I'm going to give you a little bit of lore. They're two prominent-ish progressive lefty figures who have both in the past.
See, this one is valid. Punk Corpse. I'm going to say I accept this criticism. I dislike Lance because he's Canadian. That is fair and valid.
Like, together, falsely accused me of having a sex cult where I supposedly groomed my fans into, like, a harem of, like, like, sex cult members, essentially. Like, that was essentially the accusation, right? And Sophie from Mars and Thought Slime both claimed this, and they have to this day both doubled, tripled, and even quadrupled down on this, mass blocking anybody who asked them to take it back or apologize. So yeah, it's really, it really is just kind of disgusting behavior on their part. Lance is, of course, friends with both of these people. Pretty good friends, in fact. And not only that, another name that I'm sure plenty of you who've been watching me recently may be familiar with is Illuminati. Illuminati, the particular Illuminati, the content creator who's currently gotten into a bunch of drama. Lance is good friends with her, and she recently did a not too dissimilar thing to what Thought Slime and Sophie from Mars did to me, to another content creator called The Click. We actually covered this entire like expansive drama involving Illuminati.
Shout out to Kyle for putting that together. And by the way, the accusation that Lance, when he made that video, it was titled in such a way, like the receipts are blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I'm not the one who does the thumbnails and the titles for the videos, but I also stand behind Kyle when he makes that kind of content, because Kyle is a very, very good member of the Worker Cooperative.
She is objectively at every point of this drama in the wrong. Like, she is just very evidently, like, going after people, maliciously lying.
And by the way, about the Thought Slime part, I have Thought Slime's statement that was made back in the day. Hold on. I made a whole video about how I don't care about pissing off toxic people in my community anymore, so get mad, I'm done giving leeway. Anytime one of these fucks is criticized, the critic is accused of manufacturing drama. We've been through this song and dance so many times. I don't care about whatever mental gymnastics you have to perform to be okay with abusive behavior. I don't care if you unsubscribe or delete your Patreon donations because I need to be able to sleep at night. I'd rather live with whatever injury and harassment they can dish out than more guilt about not speaking up. Should I have used the term sex cult? Evidently not. That is against the wishes of the person who brought this scandal to light, and I'm sorry for having done that and upsetting them. However, the fact that my phrasing has become the takeaway here is a very obvious redirect. I said it, I think, multiple times at this point. I don't know why I'm constantly pulled into other people's drama in one shape or another. Should Thought Slime have said that about Xanderhal? No, he should have not. He should not have done that. That was wrong to do. I said it in videos in the past, and I'll say it again now.
And it's very transparent. Oh, here we go, lol. Oh no, Aiden Blade. We've got either a Lance or an Illuminati or both simp in the chat. Oof, rough. It'll be fun to see you coping in the chat, though. Anyway, Illuminati's basically gotten blown the fuck out because the Click ended up responding to her video where she tried to deflect the drama she was going through for attacking Legal Eagle falsely onto the Click and accused the Click of...
Which, by the way, I also made a public statement, directly and sincerely apologizing to Legal Eagle for involving myself in that. I said it was wrong, and I also said that it was wrong of Illuminati, if you look at the tweet, to have done that to him. It's all up there on Twitter still.
Of a bunch of really bad shit. The Click responded, disproving all of this, and then actually proved that Illuminati is literally Creepshow Art 2.0. She has like an alt account that she was using to...
By the way, this video is still why I dislike Lance from the Serfs. You could just make an Illuminati video if you want to make an Illuminati video.
Like third person post about herself, talking about the drama. She had she was doing like stalking and paying people to like stalk his like social media and stuff. It was really...
Is this junior high? That's the reason I didn't want to cover this when this video first came out. It wasn't until someone sent me the clip of him being like, he's also friends with Bad Bunny. I was like, how many things, I can't let all of these things slide and just have that be part of lore, because people are starting to drop into my videos, starting to drop into my Twitter accounts being like, whoa, you were wrong about Xanderhal. When will you admit you lied about Xanderhal? How could you? Oh my God, Lance, why are you friends with Bad Bunny? All this kind of shit. I'm like, I am not fucking friends with Bad Bunny. I call her out all the time.
Weird. She is a massive fucking weirdo. and the Serfs, Lance, made a video to defend her. And I believe the exact name of the video was Illuminati makes her response, and her receipts are wild, or some shit like that. They do a podcast together, so Lance is basically blindly defending her on everything here, and has also...
And again, if you go onto Twitter, you will see me directly apologizing and sincerely apologizing to Legal, as well as saying that it was wrong of Illuminati to do that.
Continued his friendship with Sophie from Mars and Bot Slime. So I think it's also I think it's understandable why I take issue on a more personal level in that way.
But why?
On top of
what did I do in terms of the Thought Slime shit? That's why this is so fucking high school. It's like, again, I'm not actively doing content with Sophie from Mars to start with.
That, from what I can tell, like, my understanding of why he said he doesn't like me, because way back in the day, people, like, brought me up in his chat or something like that, and he said, I don't like Xanderhal. And and that's how I learned that, like, Lance doesn't like me, because I assumed that he was chill with me up until then. But apparently, the reason he gave for why he didn't like me is he claimed that I dead-named Blair White.
Nope. I never said that. You can go back and roll the clips. What I said is that you looked up Blair White's dead name while streaming off screen. That's what I said. That was my accusation. Yes.
And that just didn't happen. I don't even know what that's coming from. Like, I don't even know Blair White's dead name. I don't even know. Like, yeah, this never happened.
Okay.
So, like, I guess a made up thing.
Okay, so then this is a pretty big claim to make. This is probably the largest one of all of them, that I'm completely falsifying something. So that is certainly a big claim. I'll just rewind that so we have this as a matter of public record.
This never happened. So, like, I guess a made up thing that he heard on Twitter about me that he believed, I suppose. But yeah.
Okay, so made up thing that I heard on Twitter that I believed. All right, well, here's me learning about it on Twitter from you. Xanderhal, January 31st, 2021. One of my fans sent me a collage of screenshots, and apparently Woke Scold's plan to put together a compilation of out-of-context clips to make me look bad. Isn't that already what they've been doing for 2 years now? Here are a few of them. To be fair, searching Blair's dead name was a very stupid idea. Xanderhal, the thing I was responding to, kept referring to Blair by a masculine name that wasn't hers, so I was like, are they dead naming Blair White? And I looked it up off-screen to find out what was occurring. I've got this in the Wayback Machine, by the way, if this tweet suddenly disappears. Optics-wise, it was really stupid, and even in context, it was dumb tangent that led you to learn a trans person's dead name, something I imagine she wouldn't really want. It wasn't central to any major point in the video, and it was best a yikes idea. I just checked if the name she was being called was her dead name, or not, and it wasn't. I don't actually know her actual dead name and don't plan or want to. Yes, that is the reason you did a stupid thing. It was still stupid. Cringe pipit. The fuck is a dead name, and why is it so important? A dead name is the old name of a trans person. In general, it's considered transphobic to use their dead name, even to discuss their life before their name change.
Yeah. And apparently, when he really started speaking out against me was when I had my debate with Lauren Southern, which I admit I could have done better on, especially in the end half of the debate. Here's the thing, though. Lance shit-talked me really hardcore for my debate with Lauren Southern, but then months later, he ended up debating Lauren Southern. And
it's true.
Unambiguous unanimous consensus is that the Serfs did so much worse than I did. Like, Lance got fucking...
So, it's fucking high school, is it? My debate was better than your debate. Your debate was not as good as the debate that I did previous. I had a better debate than you. I'm not going to rehash the entirety of the Lauren Southern saga. If you want, you can find a lot of it on the Serf Times. What had occurred there, and one of the things that I deeply regret, was pulling in another content creator at her request, by the way. Lauren Southern had asked, hey, Lance, if we're going to debate this topic, you have to get an Indigenous content creator, completely glossing over the fact that I'm Indigenous myself, but she would not do it unless it was a 2-on-2, and wanted to have it that way. I ended up, pairing up with Twin Rabbits, and in that like framing of everything, Twin Rabbits was going to be responsible for taking and tackling one half of the debate, and he was going to usually the areas where we both said that we would like concentrate on. For him, it was going to be mass graves and church burnings and that kind of stuff. I was going to talk about systemic racism, the history of abuse of indigenous people by the Catholic Church, for example, and that was going to be the stuff that I've been researching and preparing for. And then, of course, yes, there are parts of the debate that did not go well, and I afterwards, because again, it is something that does it's something I take very seriously. It is something that is very important to me, especially talking and advocating for indigenous rights. I ended up making a video. That's why if you go to youtube.com/theserfstv, I made a video where I did a fucking fuck ton of research on the topic. I did a deep dive into everything related to, you know, the discovery of graves in Canada, including speaking to people who do ground penetrating radar and use their technology to flatly say that, you know, Lauren Southern is spreading, you know, conspiracy theories in this regard, for her to suddenly deny the very use of these tools in the way that she's doing and ignoring the discovery of other parts. Also got to add that it was a child's rib bone that eventually led to the initial ground penetrating radar discovery of those sites. Since that debate, by the way, and since I was fucking pretty heavily run through the gauntlet of all the debate bros on the internet, Canada has officially come out to recognize the genocide of Indigenous peoples, and that is an ongoing process. Something that I was saying. So yes, it turned out that is something that is now recognized by the country itself. And the second thing is that there's been the discovery of child-sized skeletons, full child-sized skeletons in one of these sites. So yeah, it was not made up. It was not a myth. It was not a lie. And that's how the whole thing went down. My criticisms of Xanderhal and his debate with Lauren Southern were that when he brought her on, the initial beginning of it was almost like friendly and for the memes, talking about how I liked your book. There are some parts I have problems with. Let's talk about that. But she got to promote her book on that. They eventually, you know, devolved, as Lauren Southern is one to do, into a whole bunch of fucking discussion and debate about a whole bunch of other topics than I'm sure they had originally planned. And then it ended up with that, like, you know, viral moment where she got him to say, it's okay to be white. And that was the debate. So yeah, I was kind of flabbergasted by it. It didn't seem like it was something that he was going into as like an enemy or an opponent of hers. So even if he'd, like, you know, done a debate poorly or something like that, there's still, you can tell the purpose behind someone and why they're doing something like that. And I'm not saying that he was simply trying to do that to promote Lauren Southern. That would be absurd. He certainly was trying to debate her for the majority of the middle of it. But yes, those were my complaints, and the same complaints I made at the time. In terms of like me going at Xanderhal, by the way, like unfairly, I also add this to the tweet that is not appearing in the Reddits and all that kind of shit. Hold on right here. This is a video from a year ago that I did. Ben Burgess and Xanderhal shatter Nuance Bro, an actual justice warrior, on systemic racism debate review. Yes, that, guess what? When I did this, which has come out, review a debate of Xanderhal, and be very positive, charitable, say he did a good job, all that kind of shit, yeah, I got the same kind of backlash from other people. Other people's being like, why would you ever like say that Xanderhal did a good idea? And did a good job. And honestly, like a lot of this fucking cancellation by association shit, it fucking sucks, because ultimately what I want to see is leftists and leftist ideas win, whether they be in the form of debates or video essays or rallies or whatever it is. This is all internet culture war shit. And so when, yes, Xanderhal did good performing against Nuance Bro, I was upfront about that. I think I even said it near the end here. So this has been so far as horrifying as I'd imagine, but credit to Xanderhal, who came into this very heavily researched. I'm enjoying his performance quite a bit, and I think Ben is crushing it for the opportunities that he gets to speak, because he's not letting them steamroll him on this. We'll finish it.
Clean up your room.
So what do you know? What do you know? Hideous Lemon is a fan of both you and Xanderhal. This is a major L for Xanderhal. But see, I'm not even trying to do right now, like, all right now, so if any of you were on the fence about Xanderhal, cancel him. Look at all the lies he just spread about me. Look at all the receipts I'm providing in the opposite direction. I brought the receipts, motherfucker. He's so done. This is the end. This is the end. No, that's not the point in all of this. You know, like I'm never going to come at Demon Mama or to come at Conyer for being friends with Xanderhal or Merrick or any of the people who are like really close and really good friends with Xanderhal, because that's an absurd fucking standard, and it fucking is very defeatist on the left to frequently try doing that kind of shit. It just you become an endless circular firing squad, and who amongst us is fucking pure? You know, like who amongst us? I've said multiple times, I was a lifelong homophobe, and I say that as a fucking bisexual. But it's all that shit is coded so deeply into your fucking mind. We're all trying to deprogram this shit. We're all trying to unlearn all the stuff that we have just by virtue of growing up in society, watching movies, listening to fucking music, reading fucking books, all this shit, watching internet shows, people and podcasts, all that kind of stuff. It programs all of this shit into us, which is why the default setting for a lot of people, especially people on the right, it's very easy for them to slide into justifications of bigotry. It's really easy for them to suddenly, oh, what, apparently, according to this random chart that Elon Musk is showing, black people commit more crimes against white people. Well, I have been conditioned my entire life from propaganda, from watching fucking shows like Cops that frequently portray black people as being inherently violent or, going to commit crimes or whatever the fucking thing it is. So as you say that and you show me these scary fucking misconstrued graphs and data, suddenly I'm going to be like, well, I mean, someone should say it, you know, maybe we should. The same thing for me. It was a lot easier for me because I can hide, you know, being queer, to not fucking validate that part of myself, to either suppress it or deny it or just say that, oh, you're just mildly confused. Because for the most part, 9 times out of 10, I'm usually attracted to women. But the 1 time out of 10 that I'm attracted to the man more, I would just be like, oh, it's, felonious is the word you were looking for. Felonious. Oh, thank you. Felonious. Yeah. I know you're not doing this for drama, but this shit makes me feel strange because it's 2 creators I'm a fan of and have big respect for. Look, I was doing this all to clear the air, because it is completely made up that I am friends with and associate with Bad Bunny. It is completely made up that I have never called out Illuminati when it came to that Legal Eagle drama. As for the current drama that's happened with Illuminati, once again, you're putting I am placed in this awkward position where there's going to be more responses in other forms, and it's not my drama, so I'm not the one that should be releasing the tapes or releasing the dirt or all that kind of stuff. But as soon as Illuminati made it clear that what she had done was wrong towards Legal Eagle, I reiterated that online before she even released that video, by the way. Before she released her response video, I took to the internets to be like, I sincerely apologize to you, Legal Eagle. It was wrong of both Illuminati to accuse you of that and for me to think that you were doing something shady. Yeah, and that's all there is to that. For the Thought Slime thing, I have openly said Thought Slime should not have called Xanderhal or said that Xanderhal was running a sex cult. Outside of that, I do not have involvement in that drama either. It's like all these things where it's like you're a bad person because of this other person. You're a bad person because of, well, this other person you associated with. I would have preferred to just watch a video by Xanderhal that was ripping into the parts of the debate that he thought I did poorly. I would have seen if there were things that I agreed with. There were things that I agreed with that people who were ripping into the debate, who were saying that I performed poorly, that I fully accepted, and that's why I made corrections, or just an admonition, if you will, of things that I should have done better when I released the second part of the Tim Pool debate on YouTube's. So if you want to see that, go to youtube.com/theserfstv, and that's the first, like, I think 6 or 7 minutes of the video is me calling myself out for things I could have done better. But overwhelmingly, no, I'm very proud of how the Tim Pool debate went down. I'm very proud to see so many clips going extremely viral, and so many people dunking on the fucking Beanie, Freedom Tunes, all those motherfuckers with, like, call-outs. I think they are serving a great purpose. I think they are spreading a message that makes them look ridiculous, that makes them look fucking obsessed with strangers' genitals, because that's what it really is, you know?
Sombrero got a tier 3 subscription.
Thank you, Jimmy Sombrero. Holy shit, tier 3. I really appreciate that. That's really nice. I got one guy on my YouTube who's made 5 Illuminati videos. Well, yeah, because Illuminati videos right now, they're absolute currency in either direction, no matter what you're making about it. And yes, I've taken my Illuminati video down off the YouTubes. This situation obviously is still playing out. I don't want to continuously involve myself in drama that I didn't have a part in, and then take smoke also from other people repeatedly, whether it be fucking Bad Bunny, Thought Slime, Sophie from Mars. I don't even understand where that one comes from. Again, it's like this collection of people who are fucking in that crew. Yeah, okay. Because I don't openly condemn Sophie. I don't even know why Sophie from Mars is hated by that section of the internet. But to be honest with you, I don't really want to know. It's old. Like, a lot of this shit happened like 3 years ago. And again, never fucking involved me. That's one of the big things. And no, I did not make up that statement that you had looked up Blair White's dead name off screen. Because again, the receipts speak for themselves. That's you in your own words admitting that you did that. There was a lot of yikesy things that I could have gone after Xanderhal for over the course of his career, and bring up videos and receipts of that. And I'm also, you will notice right now, not doing that. I have a lot of things that I could play right now. I was very, very fucking upset with the way Xanderhal treated Corvidae in their debate, when I thought Corvidae was doing everything to possibly be good faith and be patient and be like, hey, by the way, you know, you shouldn't use the R slur. Please stop using the R slur. It's like, it's deeply offensive and ableist. Stop using it as an insult. Stop using the term gay as an insult. You know, stop bringing up genital preferences and things like that, because those things serve the right when it comes to the culture war against trans people. Like there was, and that debate is still up there, by the way. That was more of what started making me be like, I dislike the way Xanderhal is acting right now, because this is someone who seems in very good faith, is trying their best to try and, again, explain why a lot of these things can be problematic or offensive. It's not like, you know, a one-to-one call out. Like everything on the internet, by the way, just because it's one creator producing something and another creator responding, it doesn't have to be a 24-hour drama cycle. Like people can make videos about other people where they critique, for example, their takes, or they critique the things they say, or they critique the way they compose themselves, and that is not necessarily like, and that's why this person is canceled. This person is forever transphobe. This person is forever racist. Forever. There's no changes. No one can improve. And then the people who get those critiques on the other end see them exclusively as attacks, and so then they're going to make their own video right away where it's like, well, this person is actually the real racist. They're an extreme racist. Did you not see how they're being racist to this person? So who's the real racist now? And then both sides, both camps are going to do that thing online where they all start filling the replies of everybody. On one end, like if you are producing content about another streamer, especially if you're a video like a video essayist, because I am both. I'm a video essayist and I also do live streams. As a video essayist, if you're going to make a direct video about someone, you have to understand that that person in that community, even if it's in the best of faith, is most likely going to see it as an attack, and then there's going to be a response in the form of it. I don't like that that's the way this shit always goes down, but that's one of the risks you take when you make that. So once that happens and the video comes out and all of a sudden that community and those people are going after you, you have to understand that that was what was going to take place. And now there's going to be this whole fucking parasocial, everyone hitting up each other's replies, weird wars. And that's why I wanted to put a fucking an end to this one, because these are lies about me. They are not true. Again, that's why I wanted to come here, provide receipts, show all of you that these are like unfactual statements being made. And honestly, what does it serve? Like, I get that I make hot trash for content on the YouTubes. I get that. I do. I make hot trash for content on YouTube. I upload a lot of fucking right-wingers, ghouls, drama surrounding them. When they have bad days, it's the schadenfreude of it all. No question about that. But like, there are some other people, and this is not Xanderhal, by the way, there's other people who I notice the entirety of their channels is hyper-focused on going after progressives, leftists. Like there's not a lot of variation. It's almost always frequently and exclusively this is the problem with the left, here's the problem with the left, here's the problem with the leftists I don't like, here's the problem with the leftists I hate, here's the problem with the left. Like, if you do one or two of those videos, fine, that makes sense. People are going to have opinions, you're going to make it into content. When you've got like 5 or 6 of them and it's just repeatedly over and over and over, and especially if you're attacking a specific creator, wondering why that creator hates you, doesn't like you, or makes fucking response videos where they try to like break apart your argument, that's probably why, you know? I got no problem with opposing views, unless they're fashy. Then yeah. Anyways, that's all there is to it, everyone. There's not really much more to this. It's basically, it goes up until, it's like, yeah, it's almost half the video, until he starts playing clips. Plays a lot of the Heme clips, by the way. I don't know what went wrong with him, and I'm not saying that just because he disagrees with me. I'm saying that because he was taking clips of me and posting them as huge gotchas, and it's just so weird. Like, one of them is about how when I was asked, hey, Lance, what's a woman? I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna give you a really quick answer right now. An adult human female. That's the thing that Matt Walsh says all the time. Now, unless you invalidate the fact that a female can be trans, which they can, then that's not a gotcha. For him to post that, and a whole bunch of other people, the libs mostly, to be like, Lance, you just invalidated the entirety of the fucking trans experience. Like this weirdo who barely fucking participates in online politics anymore, dropping in out of nowhere to fucking release multiple fucking videos on me, getting tons of pushback from the trans community, and then saying that it was because they like me. It's like, oh, all these people are fans of Lance. Oh, look at this, all these parasocial relationships that Lance has. That's not my vibe. I'm not the dude who sends people to attack other people to defend me, or puts them on blast and be like, now everyone go, teach them a lesson, make sure they learn how they wronged me. No one must wrong me. People were calling you out because it's very yikesy for you not to realize that, hey, yes, trans women can be adult human females. Like, go on Wikipedia, it's included in there. Look at Woke GPT. ChatGPT had a fucking flawless answer to that in seconds. Hold on. Question to ChatGPT. Are trans women females? Yes, trans women are individuals who are assigned male at birth but identify and live as women. While they may have been assigned a male gender at birth, based on physical characteristics, their gender identity is female. Trans women often undergo social, medical, or legal transitions to align their outward appearance and legal documentation with their gender identity. It is important to respect and acknowledge a person's self-identified gender and use appropriate pronouns and terminology referring to them. Yeah. ChatGPT, once again, coming in. Do you enjoy the Serfs but prefer not to have to use your eyeballs? Many are saying this. Well, we've got the solution for you. It's the Serf Times in podcast form, available on most major podcasting networks now. If you enjoy it, please consider leaving a good review and feedback because it really helps the show out, apparently, and it's free, just like the podcast.
To our gods, Xander Corvus and Peyton L. Juste, we shall spend many a generations building mighty cathedrals in your honor. To our monarch, Tom Spiker, we are but your oafish jesters, here to offer you a laugh at any opportunity. To our brave knights of the Round Table, Rachel K., Izzy Solidarity, Victoria Bell, Sebastian Demel, Mark Harmon, Benji Arney, Scary Earth Human, Tony, DM Rivera, Resident Scarecrow, Sir Nickus, Cheryl Alvarez, Ruby Kelly, Brandon, Words Greenwood, Everything Important, Hegbert Celine, Matthew Scarborough, Stellar Vision, Ariane McCarthy, Doug Cady, Daniel Sutton, Jenna Tal, Dark Puppy, Quiet One 85, Anna Loves Riley, Omni, Riley and Anna, Poodlehawk, Multimondi, Trevbot EXE, Brian Ephraim, Anthropophojack, Catherine, Ramon Acosta, Nkosin, Ralph Parler, Violent Orchard, Political Puppy, La Media Panza, Todd Buckingham, and Todd La Jeunesse. We salute our valiant heroes off to fight injustice everywhere.